So, who's ready for some mischief? Alright, so, if you're wondering what I'm doing in the middle of a parking lot at night, in my car, this all goes back a little bit to at work, when me and Matt, sup Matt, we're having a discussion about an item that we found. It was one of those sparks for a Bunsen burner or for an acetylene torch. And I found out, through just the conversation I guess, that he had never seen some of the things that you can do with flints. So this video is mostly about showing off that and just a few other general mischief things that you can do with lighters. So first up, we've got a few Bic Minis, 3 of them. You can get 3 for $2.78 at my local Walmart. And it's not a terrible price for a decent lighter. I mean, they spark pretty well, pretty consistently. But there are a few trade-offs. So for about, what's the price? Yeah, right around $2, you can get 7 Scripto lighters. And all of them have flints too. But in my experience, usually their flints are smaller. Bic uses the same size flint in their minis as they do their full-size ones. And size can play a big factor in what I'm about to show you with the flints. But before I get into any of that, I want to just go ahead and show the first thing off that you can do with these crappy little Scriptos that still have the up and down dial for the flame. You can set it so low that it won't light apparently, but that little selector switch has a guard on there that you can just pull right off if you're careful, and it won't take the rest of it apart. There that goes. So still works just fine, but you see that this little rocker switch there still works, but can go past where it's blocked from earlier. On top of that, you can lift it up off of the gear, and if you're careful enough, you can go ahead and just rock it back over and turn it up even more, and then you have a nice little torch. But that's not what we're here for. The main thing that we're after... Oh, broken nail. The main thing that we're after is the flints out of these lighters. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, while you can get 7 of these Scriptos for about $2, you can get a refill of just flints for like your Zippo lighter for 78 cents for a 6-pack. So if this seems just as good as the other flints, then that's clearly the money saver right there. Anyway, just gonna go ahead and finish up with these. So basically, after you get the guard off of your lighter, it exposes this striker wheel, which is just held on by a pin that goes through it on either side. And once you peel back this retaining clip on it, take out the striker wheel, that gives you access to 2 things. So one is this spring right here that's loaded underneath the flint, and then the other is this right here. Kind of small to see. Sorry about that, but that is a flint. Now, typically what I do is I'll go ahead and pull the spring out a little bit on one end and pop the flint into there and wrap the spring around it and have it hang a bit like that. And then I'll hold past there, pull out the rest of the spring to give me a handle to hold onto this with. Basically what happens is you can get the flint very hot with any kind of lighter really. I'm going to use a butane torch just because it's faster. But once the flint gets white hot, you can throw it at the ground and it'll spark. And spark is putting it a bit lightly. It's closer to an explosion. Anyway, this is why we're here at night. It's because this looks so much better in the dark. So, I figure where 1 is good, 2 is better. So, what I have is one of those Bic flints and one of those Ronson replacement flints stuck together onto here. I've never seen that happen before. And last but not least, I have one of those Scripto flints. And funny enough, whenever I opened it up, it's actually bigger than the last time I opened up a Scripto. It's pretty much the same exact size as what you'd find in a Bic now. So I figure if you were going to go for actual lighters, use those and then use the flints after this, Scripto might be the way to go since you get 7 for $2 instead of 3 for $3. That having been said though, I need to actually see how well this does. I'm going to call that pretty weak actually. Never mind what I said. Scripto, still garbage.